Hi, Mario.
Me?
Okay, let's go Dalet Amud Beis where we left off.
Yeah.
Assuming dash shneim, if they agreed to build the wall, Arle Rav and Prazik Ravashi lo yasu lo zeh velo zeh. Why not? If neither of them want, they leave it alone. Arle lo tzricha. We're talking about a case the Kodem Chad Minayev Avadidei. One of them jumped the gun and did it themselves. The Ilo Avid Chavre, if his friend didn't participate, Amar Didehu. He'll claim that it was only his personally. What if the Mishnah is giving us methods to avoid tricksters? I mean, people aren't tricksters. The Resha was also takana for tricksters. The din, the Resha taught us a din that in a meadow, if he wants to build his own wall, he can build it with his own thing. So then it gave us a takana that you have to add that top chazit thing, so we know for sure that it's his personally and that it doesn't belong to anybody else. But the safe is just giving us tricks. We're talking about branches, not cement wall. Here we're holding that even if you build a palm wall, you can make a fixation to it. You can say that you can bend the top towards one or the other, right? Because it's like you don't have to do it with a star. Now, Hamakif is chaver mishalosh ruchoso. Person has a field, and his neighbor surrounds his field on three sides. The gutter is a rishon, is a shniv, is a shlishis, and his neighbor puts up three fences. So ein mechayvin so. With those fences, we don't force the owner of the inner field to participate in those if he doesn't want. Now, if the inner guy builds a fence on the fourth side and now locks himself in, so now it shows that he was interested in protection. So Magagin alav is hakol. He has to share in the expenses of the first three walls. But we don't do that until he locks in his fourth wall. Halachic Rabbi Yosi, the Omar, Imamad v'Godas Arvias Magagla Sakol, who said that we only throw the expenses of the first three if he shows us that he's interested in the fourth. Lo shna amad nikif, lo shna amad makif. It makes no difference who built the fourth wall. And what does it mean, the expenses? The guy who was surrounded has to participate in all the expenses. Listen, this guy might have built $1 million wall, but he's only interested in paying a wall made out of reeds, which would be $1,000. So he gets to pay the minimal amount. It's not. So a person surrounding a middle field, if he builds three walls, the guy in the middle doesn't have to participate in the cost. Implying Harivias Machayvinoso. If the fourth wall is built and L'chora doesn't make a difference who builds it, then you machayev he has to pay all of it. Aim is safer. Rabbi Yossi Oimer. Im Omad v'Godas Ravias. And who are we talking about? We're talking about the guy in the middle. Megagan lavas hakol. Bishma Ravuna do Omar kolofi masha goderbo. So Ravuna says he has to pay all the expenses. Hainu de ikebein Tanakam Rav Yosi. But then we could create a distinction between the Tanakam and Rav Yosi. Tanakam is our kolofi to make kanim bezol in masha goder lo. The Tanakama holds that what we force the middle guy to pay is the minimum cost of reeds. But comes Rav Yosi, so our kolofi masha goder. No, he has to pay the real cost. El L'chia Barav, who started off the Amar HaKolofi Dmei Kanim Bezol, that in all cases it's just the cost, the minimum cost. My Ika Ben Tanakama Rav Yosi. Then what's the distinction between the Tanakam and Rav Yosi? Eid Dmei Kanim Bezol Lo Kuyavle Ma Kuyavle. If he's not required to do anything, what is he paying? So there is a third level. How much you would have to pay a watchman, right? That could be another level. He has to contribute at least what you would pay a watchman, and not, which is more expensive than a reed wall. Rabbi Yossi said Mekanim Bezol is enough. Perhaps the difference could be the first, second, and third walls. Maybe the Tanakama holds that what we mean that he has to participate only in the fourth wall. He doesn't give him anything. Rabbi Yossi said Rishon Shni Shlish is not yoivle. He has to pay for the first three walls as well. Iboy, same other people are makiv the nikiv ikibinayu. Who stood up and built the fourth wall? Tanakam so time of the Amad Nikiv. If the inner guy builds the fourth wall, well, he shows that he's happy with the walls. Then I understand why the Magagan loves a kol. He has to contribute to the other walls. Aval Amad Makiv, the guy who's surrounding the inner, if he builds the fourth wall, maybe the inner guy, according to Tanakama, only has to contribute to the cost of the fourth wall. Rav Yossi sover loishno nekif loishno makav, makes no difference who did it. Im omad v'godim agaglav sakol. Okay, lishnachrina, another way of learning it. Makif v'nikif v'kibinayim. Who actually built the fourth wall? Tanakama sover im goder makif is if the guy on the outside builds the fourth wall, Nami Yoivle. Rabbi Yosef Imam Nikiv, the guy who was surrounded the goddess of Yisud Yoivle, then he has to pay the Gali died to the Nichole. Because by himself building the fourth wall, it shows that he's happy with all the walls. Avim Gadar Makiv Loivle Midi. But if the external guy built the fourth wall, then perhaps he doesn't have to pay anything.
One question. If the guy from the surrounding guy builds the fourth wall, the inner guy will be locked in, right?
No, but it's a field. It's a field. But if he's gonna do it, they have to give him the right of way to get out of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Do you want me to stop and start?
Yes.
1 second.